From Georgia to Arizona, Florida to Montana, and beyond, GOP-sponsored bills are threatening your right to vote. But how did America get here?
We made too much progress to go back. And that's why we're here today, standing up for the voting rights of all Americans.
One hugely consequential day in this modern war on voting rights is June 25th, 2013.
After nearly half a century, the U.S. Supreme Court pulled the plug today.
Chief Justice John Roberts made no secret about his skepticism that it was still required.
In a history-changing decision called Shelby County v. Holder, the Supreme Court gutted a key section of the Voting Rights Act. At the time, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg warned that such a decision would be like throwing away your umbrella in a rainstorm because you are not getting wet. More than half the states in the U.S. have laws on the books restricting voting rights since the Shelby decision. Within hours of the decision in 2013, Texas enacted one of the country's strictest ID laws.
I mean, you may have to drive, 300 miles some places to get a voter ID in Texas? I mean, who's going to do that?
Those criticisms are false.
North Carolina was next, cutting early voting and polling hours. Fast forward to 2016, 14 new states had restrictive voting laws on the books, helping Donald Trump secure his victory. By 2018, states previously covered by the VRA had closed over 1,600 polling places. Voter purging had increased 40% in states with a history of voting discrimination. Voter suppression has only intensified since then. Right now, influenced by dark money groups like Heritage Action for America, 17 states have passed nearly 30 new laws this year, making it harder to vote. Voting rights advocates say there's a fix.
We need to pass the For the People Act. We need to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act.
This issue is about the preservation and the protection of the democracy itself.
And it's our responsibility right now with utmost urgency to really strengthen a lot of our democratic institutions.
These bills would expand voting access for tens of millions of Americans and expand protections under the Voting Rights Act that were gutted by the Supreme Court. But democracy hangs in the balance. Biden faces a 50-50 Senate with a cast of obstructionist Republicans willing to use whatever means necessary to preserve their party's grip on power.
The motion is not agreed to.
Madam President, every single Senate Republican just voted against starting debate on legislation to protect Americans' voting rights.
41 Republicans, representing just 21% of the country, can use the filibuster, a tool of Jim Crow, to block bills that would counter voter suppression efforts, which voting rights advocates say would put American democracy in grave danger. For more, go to YouTube, Instagram TV, or find all of my reporting at motherjones.com.